Phrasing is a really, really problematic thing for the musician, and what to do, how to do it, how to do it for the best. One of the easy ways is to listen to other people play it, get a CD and copy that. But it's actually much more fun to learn it ourselves, to think of it ourselves. We rather want composers to tell us what to do. We're messengers. We're not creative artists particularly. We're just doing as we're told. And if the composer tells us what to do, we'll do it. If they don't tell us very much, we won't do very much. But actually, for the performer, it's our business to try and make something as beautiful as we can, as lovely, as compelling as we can. How to do it is a difficult thing. The first thing we have to look at is, what does it tell us on the page? What is there? What information does the composer give us? Every bit of detail that they've given us, we should take notice of. All Italian terms. There's no shame in looking things up that you don't know. I still do it now loads of times. It's things you've heard of but you're not totally sure the meaning of. If you can't remember it, write it in and think about what it means. Also, phrasing marks, where the slurs are. What does it mean? For wind players, where do we take our breaths? Does the composer play the instrument? Do they understand what we need when we take breaths? All of those, the practical things are quite important to look into. Now here's a little piece of Brahms that I do. This is the last movement of the second sonata, the E-flat sonata. This is a theme of variations, and this is the beginning of the theme. Poco F we see. So this is, Brahms said this was like mezzo forte. Bit later on it goes piano. There's a diminuendo. There's a hairpin in that second line. Andante con moto. Andante at a walking pace, whatever that means. But we kind of know what sort of speed, it says. Now, I'm going to play this in a very banal way, doing what it says. Tongue the first of the group of slur the rest. And I'll try and do the dynamics. Pretty much what it says, but it wasn't very interesting at all. What can I do to make it more interesting? Well, there was a Beethovenian thing, and particularly for classical musicians, that you would diminuendo a little bit at the end of a slur. So we could try that. A little bit more interesting maybe, but still a little bit naff. Everything sounds the same. Now this is where words come into it. Prose, poetry particularly. How do you speak words? How do you make words be dramatic and come across in a kind of poetic way? Some words have got long endings. We have stresses and rhythms in different ways. A lot of composers set music. Brahms wrote loads of songs. Now, I would say it's a very, very useful thing to listen, if you're playing Brahms, whoever you're playing, listen to that composer's use of vocal music, what they do. The tunes are probably going to be the same, but it maybe give us an idea of what kind of shapes we can do. And as we know with vocal music, when you have a second stanza, maybe the gaps and the breaths and the rhythms are slightly different. So we can always try and be as imaginative, but it's up to us as performers to provide those words, provide that sense. Now, another little analogy that I have in what to do, how to make this music come alive, is the analogy of music being the same as a map. Now, here is a little picture of a map around here, where I live, Pulborough Brooks. This is the Pulborough wetlands that gets flooded every now and then. Now you can see there's this river down the side going straight down. That's the River Arun. Going sideways, all that river's not really there. It's just like a little embankment, really. So you can kind of walk across it. But all those crisscross of all those blue lines is basically the water meadow. And you can see, if you want to walk from top to bottom, there's that little green line on the side. So that's good practical help. When I get down the bottom, you can see at the very bottom of the shot, there's those contours. So that probably means there's a little bit of an uphill bit. I can probably work out there's a path, there's a little bit, a few trees. I can see stuff. I see where everything is. Like on the music, I can see what the rhythms are. I can see all the shapes, where to put everything. Now, here is a picture of that very scene that we have, this bit of Pulborough Brooks. Now, I'm kind of thinking you're now not thinking, how do I get from A to B? You're thinking, wow, that looks absolutely lush. Well, it is lush. It is lush when you go out round there. The other thing to say is different on different days, depending on the sun. It's a very slightly different thing. The map is always the same, but the scene is different. And every time you go out there, it makes your heart sing because it's so beautiful. And this is really the effect that we need to try and get our music off the page, to try and make something out of what we've got. The composer will tell you so much, but you really need to take the responsibility to make this shapely and beautiful. So if I go back to my Brahms and I take all those into consideration, I've got to try and be beautiful, I've got to be shapely, I'm going to think of some words, I'm going to try and incorporate maybe some of these dynamics. What do the dynamics mean? What does that hairpin in the middle mean? What does the piano mean? Is it a subito piano? What does it all mean? So here's version 3. This is maybe a little better. So that's a little better, still more to do, still more thinking to do. I'm thinking a little bit more of the harmony. Once you know the harmony, where the harmony goes, it can send you in good directions. But the more you know these things, the better you're going to be. And it's just taking the confidence to try things out, to try and deliver the music. So again, the difference between the map and the scenery, your business is to try and get the scenery. It's not just what it looks like, it's what we feel, it's what the arts are. What does that sight of going out onto the Wirebrooks, what does it do to us and our humanness? That's what the arts are trying to do. So I think we need to buy into that as much as we can. Explore those phrases, explore the possibilities. It's a nice thing to do when you've been spending hours and hours doing technical stuff that's really hard. Just to do a few nice tunes, trying to get those tunes as best we can, personal to us. Really nice thing to do. Good luck, explore, play.